How's it going, everybody? Misto here, and today's video will be about Control, not self-control, the game Control, which was released in August of 2019. I would like to apologize in advance. There will be some spoilers in this video. And with that, let's go ahead and jump forward and start taking a look at the game itself. In Control, you play as a young woman who goes by the name of Jesse Faden, who is searching for her brother Dylan, who was taken by an agency known as the Federal Bureau of Control when they were children. Throughout the game, her primary companion is an unknown entity who goes by the name of Polaris.
Fair warning. This is gonna be weirder than usual. Can't be helped. You called me. So here I am. I know I shut you out sometimes. I'm always glad to hear from you. It's just that I get my hopes up. So many times it's led to nothing. I found nothing. It's like we live in a room and there's a poster on the wall. We stare at it and we think that's the whole world. The room and the poster. The picture's something nice. A landscape, a famous person. Like in that movie, what is it called? The prison movie. The room's a cell, and the picture, it's different for each of us. It can be beautiful or terrible, but we're all transfixed. But it's all a lie. Something to distract us from the truth. They're lying to us. We're lying to ourselves. The room's not the world. The world is much bigger and much stranger. There's a hole hidden behind that poster that leads to the real world. We all feel safe in that room. But sometimes something crawls out from behind the poster. And the ones that see it happen freak out and try to forget what they saw. I'm here. Why did you bring me here? Hello? Anyone here?
Upon entering the building, Jesse noticed that the reception desk is empty, and it's at this point that you're able to take control of her. Pun intended. And you can start investigating the surrounding areas for clues as to what's happening. As you make your way through the security office, you notice it's empty. You go up a set of stairs, and on the office to the left, Jesse will find something.
This seal. I saw it a long time ago. I keep seeing it in my dreams.
Now, other than the seal, Jesse will find a file on the cabinet behind her, which of course you can go ahead and read, and it'll give you a little bit of insight as to what's going on in the game, what the Federal Bureau of Control is all about. Other than that, the office is empty, and you just continue on forward searching.
Federal Bureau of Control. All these years I've been looking for them and they were hiding in plain sight.
As Jessie continues on through the building, she notices that the offices are empty. There's files on the floor. It looks like people just left in a rush, and she cannot find anyone. But she does hear singing off in the distance as she continues to search. As you go on and progress, you will find a janitor whose name is Ati.
Hey, excuse me.
There you are. You are here about the job. janitor's assistant. You need to go to the interview. Go that way to the elevator.
Thanks. Elevator that way. Got it.
Very good. I'm Ahti, the janitor, by the way. You'll work for me. You can say I sent you. If they don't hire you, niin Johan on helvet. There be work for the axe. Take them behind the sauna, jumalauta.
I've done enough night shift loner jobs to know it makes us come off weird. Ahti the janitor is a friendly face in my book.
Better than somebody with no face at all. Think about it. No face.
But that said, I know what you're thinking. If there's an axe murderer around, that's him.
So it's at this point that we get our first mission called Welcome to the Otis House. Now there's something I would like to point out is that there are no actual waypoints other than on the in-game map. And when you pull that up, whatever your current mission is, it'll appear in yellow. And it'll show you the area where you need to go. There are a few other things you need to kind of keep in mind. Sometimes if you want to access a certain area, you may need a certain ability to get to it or a certain weapon. So that is something to keep in mind as you progress through the game itself. At this point, you continue to search around down on this level if you wish to, or you can go ahead and get on the elevator. I personally have looked around.
The cell and the poster. I was 11 years old the first time I saw behind the poster. They told me I imagined it. I've been trying to pull it down ever since. Will you help? Did I lose you there for a moment? You know what's on my mind. My baby brother, Dylan. 17 years since the men of this bureau took him.
Once off the elevator, there's a room to the left and to the right that you can search for a few things. And then at the far end of the hall is the director's office, and right before that, off to the right as well, is a door that you cannot get through because it is locked. Entering the director's office, you'll find a man behind the desk on the floor, dead, with a gun laying beside him, which will be actually your first weapon that you get within the game, and it can be upgraded later on with the material known as Source, which is what we use to revive ourselves when we die during the game. And as I said, it's also used to upgrade your weapons, as well as upgrading personal mods, which you'll acquire as you go through the game. Now, at this point, once you pick up the weapon, we're going to encounter some beings in the astral plane, which we'll refer to as the board.
And there goes the poster.
Objects of power can cause or be results of AWE's altered world events, intrusions upon the perceived reality. Now, the service weapon is, of course, a prime example of an OOP, a very powerful one. Ingrained in the Bureau's DNA, a key component in our prime candidate program. Come out of that Russian roulette a winner and you're it.
Look at this place. Where am I?
Now, it's not really made clear who the board are or what they really want. All we really know is that whoever has the service weapon is the control of the Bureau, so to speak, and they work directly for the board. Now, what we're doing here is they're testing us. We're going to get control of the service weapon for the first time. We're getting to learn how to jump, so on and so forth, and we get to encounter some enemies and use our service weapon.
The same gun.
Okay. As I said, this is where we test out the service weapon for the first time. And then we can also pick up some source off the ground, which is all the bluish glowing material that you see lying around. And once we're done in here, we'll go back to the director's office and the cutscene will play out. One of the things that I personally like about the game is how everything's just not hand-fed to you. You have to actually search, look, and there's a lot of mystery wrapped around everything as well.
This threat. An attack. Duty as director. Keep the Bureau safe.
Did you hear that? It's the dead man. Right after the pyramid spoke to me, and it was just noise, and I understood every word. And this gun's alive. You know what? I'm happy. Happy to be here.
And this here is exactly what I was talking about.
Things have
How they
quieted
just
down
don't
outside.
feed everything
Safe
to
to go.
you. Yes, they give you a little bit, but like I said, a lot is just wrapped around the mystery. Now here we're going to continue on, and we'll actually be able to encounter our first real enemies outside of the astral plane where we met the board.
You can't let this happen. 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 You stopped it. You... Oh, thank you. That was... horror.
Alright, now that Claire saved us, we'll go ahead and we'll clear out these enemies that are in front of us. And we'll be able to pick up some materials that we can use later on in upgrading weapons and also upgrading mods. Which really, when it comes to mods, you can find a lot of good ones out and about in the world. So you can actually hold on to your materials and use those for upgrading your weapons.
Secure line of communication. Guidance. Reach the hotline.
The hotline, says the dead man. Okay.
After hearing the ghost of the prior director talking about the hotline, we're going to go ahead and move forward through the building, and we'll come across what will be known as a control point, which will be our first one. We'll clear out the enemies around it, and when we activate the control point, it's going to be what's called cleansing. So this will be our safe spot where we can upgrade our weapons. We can even, from this point, this control point, change our outfits when we get some new outfits. Plus, when we die, we respawn at a control point, and it costs us 10% of our source materials. So once a control point is cleansed, what normally happens in most cases is the room will rearrange itself. And the reason for this is control points act like anchors, if you want to call them that, which stabilizes areas of the older house and make them safe for us to go into, set up offices, so on and so forth. Now, this is where we meet Pope for the first time. She becomes one of our contacts that will eventually later on in the game end up getting missions from, and we can talk to her, get her opinion on what she thinks of Jesse, and some additional information about her brother Dylan as well. Now, when we first speak with Pope, she's going to want us to try to cleanse one that's possessed, so that way we can try to save him, but we're going to end up finding out later that we can't do it. Now, something I do like about Pope is she just takes everything in stride, Jesse being the new director, and everything that's going on around her. I guess that's what makes her a good agent for the Bureau. She's just willing to accept the unbelievable.
My turn. Should I lie?
Jesse Faden. I'm just visiting.
I should have lied.
Oh, shit. You're the new director. Hold on. We're coming out.
Director Faden. Call me Jesse.
Okay, Jesse. I'm Emily. Look, somehow, this hostile force, this
Hiss?
that works. Somehow the hiss managed to infiltrate the building without any warning.
And just like that, my name for it is official. The hiss. Like the sound of poison gas leaking in.
We're in full lockdown. It seems to have spread everywhere and to everyone not protected by an HRA. And, extraordinarily, you. You are the director, and that makes you special by definition. Trench is no longer the director, obviously. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. This whole situation is just a lot.
Trench is dead. Shot.
Ah.
I found his body. And the gun.
Do I tell her it looked like a suicide?
The service weapon.
Also, and this can sound crazy, but he keeps appearing to me. Saying things. It's hard to make out, but he told me to cleanse the control point. Push the hiss out. The whole room shifted around.
You did that? And you entered the building when it was already in the lockdown before you became the new director? How?
I'm not ready to tell her about you yet.
A janitor let me in.
I love it. This is fucking unbelievable. I can't even... Look, Jesse, I have a million questions, and you probably have a million more.
Like, do you know my brother Dylan? Not yet.
But there's something I need to ask you to do first. If you can cleanse a control point, then you can maybe cure those infected or possessed by the hiss. Because if that's possible, our options are very different.
Emily Pope. I don't know her, but I like her already. She's the opposite of the faceless agency I've blamed for what happened to me for so long. But I can't trust her yet. Or rather, the bureau she's a part of.
Yes. I can try.
I'm speaking for you, of course. We can try it together. Okay. You with me? We did it before.
So once we make our attempt to push the hiss out of a possessed, that will wrap up Welcome to the Oldest House mission, and we'll be able to go on to our next one. But that's pretty much going to be it for this video. I would like to say, I found this game to be a lot of fun, and I do plan on making some more videos on it. The lore of it, while you don't get everything at one time, I like how it does piecemeal it out to you, that you have to go and search for it. That's one of the things that I like about RPG style games. Yes, while this has some first person shooters aspects to it, and some horror elements, it seems to be more of a mystery game. Suspense. And that's something that I really enjoy. I like that elusiveness that's involved with it all. From this point on, the game does increase in difficulty by leaps and bounds, or by spikes if you prefer to call it that way. Now, when Control originally released in 2019, they didn't have any difficulty settings. No easy, no normal, no hard. It was just, it increased in difficulty as you went along. But they did eventually end up putting what is known as assist mode. And what this allows for is you can use what's known as enhanced aim assistance and aim sniping. And they even allow you to increase your energy recovery, your damage reduction, and ammo recovery. Now, this did make it a little bit more like the equivalency of an easy mode, but the enemies still scaled up. So they also added in there one-hit kills and immortalities. So if you wanted to make it easier for yourself, you could go into the menu and set those options up, so that way it would be hard for you to be killed.
It was one of the big ones, and before my time. And very classified. I can try to dig out some old files for you. My boss, Casper Darling, would know, but he's missing. I think he knew this was coming, or suspected. He came up with the HRAs, the Hadron Resonance Amplifiers. I think they're what saved us. Or a few of us. And Director Trench would know.
Trench. The ghost, or whatever he is. He mentioned something called the hotline. said
So
should
after I
find-
finished the main storyline, I went to look
It's
at what
another
else
object
Remedy
of
had, and I
power,
found
like a
out
gun,
about
an old
Alan
Bakelite
Wake
telephone,
and Quantum
a
Break.
direct line
And
of
I looked into
communication
those, see if I
between
could get them
director
on
and
the
board.
PlayStation
Maybe he can
store,
teach you
and
a
I found
clue
out
through
that those
But
two
Trench
were
has
exclusive
years
to
and years of
PC and
experience.
Xbox, and unfortunately
He
my
might know how to
PC
destroy
died,
the
so
hits.
couldn't get it that way. And
Where is
I
the
gave
hotline?
up on Xbox
Let's get
years
to the
ago
communications
after I
department
got
through the
my
mail
very
room.
first
It's
one,
part
and
of
it
the
died
sector, so
after
we can
6
access it
months.
even with the lockdown
I
in
got the
place.
ring of death, or the
We'll
red
get the
eye as I
door
like to
open for
call
you.
it, and after that
Okay.
I said nope,
That's my
I'm
next
sticking
step.
with PlayStation and my
That's
PC.
Tomasi's department.
And
He's
because
head
of that, I ended up
communications.
missing out
I
on
don't
2
think
other
he
really
had an
potentially
HRA.
good
He
games,
kinda
which
made a
I have
point
not
about not
played
wearing
yet,
one
but I
earlier.
would like to get my hands on
Keep
them
an
at some
eye out.
point and actually try them out. And with that, if you enjoyed this video,
They
found it to
call
be
me the
helpful,
director.
be sure to hit that like button, drop a
That's
comment,
me.
and as always, my
I'm not a
friends,
director type.
game on.
Not a leader. Why am I here? I think you already know. Yes, I came for my brother, but there are other reasons too. I said I was looking for answers, but I might never understand them. I'm not looking for proof. This is already it. More than enough. No matter what they told me all those years, I know it's real now. I didn't imagine this. I want to be a part of this world. What scares me shitless is that I finally found it. Only to see the hiss destroy it all.